CBS News legal analyst Rikki Klieman joins us now in Studio 57. One of the counts against Trump is violating Georgia's RICO Act. Obviously very serious and usually used in organized crime cases. So how is it being used in this case?
It's actually being used exactly the same way. When we look at the RICO Act, it originally was a federal act. It goes back to around 1970, and it was meant for the mob. It was to put the mob out of business. It's about racketeering, influence, corrupt organizations. So the mob was a corrupt organization. Then it got used in unions. That was also a way of looking at mob behavior that had gone into unions. And eventually there were prosecutors who decided that this was a creative tool, that if you could get a number of people that you could see that they formed a group, an enterprise, that perhaps their activity could be considered an enterprise of racketeering activity. Fani Willis, this prosecutor, is someone who likes using this statute. She has used it before in the hip-hop world. She actually used it with a group of teachers involved with a cheating scandal. That would be the last group I would think of. But here, she has looked and not only taken lots of people, where we have 19 defendants, she's looked at intent in Georgia, coming from intent also in other states. Very creative.
For, folks who are not steeped in this, Rikki, they may sit back and say, here we go, yet another indictment against former President Trump. But there's something very different about what DA Fani Willis is doing here. You mentioned the RICO charge and what that carries with it. So explain for our viewers why these set of charges is different than what we've seen before. Different
because it is harsh and it cannot be escaped. If you have federal charges, of which we have 2 indictments, the January 6th indictment in D.C., the Mar-a-Lago indictment in Florida, if Donald Trump were to be elected president, or if some other Republican who is friendly to the interests of Donald Trump, if he were convicted, wanted to pardon him or he wanted to pardon himself, they would go forward with that. State indictments are different. There is no such thing as a federal pardon for a state indictment. The case in New York, by anyone's standards, is a minor case. This is a serious case, and RICO in Georgia carries a penalty of 5 to 20 years. That means there would be some prison time if Donald Trump or any of the other 19 defendants are convicted of a RICO conspiracy.
Wow. There are 41 felony counts as part of this indictment, including 13 against Trump. Any stand out besides the racketeering?
Well, I think what you have to look, I had to bring it with because it's such a great
pretty thick.
I mean, you have to see it to believe it. I mean, you could actually use it as a weight. This is like a novel long form. The RICO indictment is really everything in this case. When you look at what the acts are for Donald Trump, I don't think that they're surprising. We begin with the phone call to Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, which we have heard played over the airwaves over the years. And we look at other things that Donald Trump said or did. His own tweets, his own post-election statements become the basis of many of the aspects of this case.
We have to clarify, former President Trump is presumed innocent. He says these phone calls are perfect. He did nothing wrong. But you actually know the former president's lead counsel, Drew Findling. What do you anticipate, then, his defense strategy will be, considering he's facing this mountain of an indictment?
You have to understand that someone with the talent and the commitment and the preparation skills of someone like Drew means that although this is 98 pages, for Drew, this is another case. He defends hard cases. He's a lawman. He and his colleagues will know every single thing about every nuance of the law. They will file a myriad of motions to dismiss in this case. But also, jurors like him. He has an appeal to a jury. So Donald Trump and the other defendants are presumed innocent. Keep in mind that the burden of proof is solely on the prosecution beyond a reasonable doubt. All the defense needs is one juror to hang a jury. Georgia is an interesting venue because it was traditionally a Republican state. The votes, when you look at them as they were tallied, it is a very close victory for Joe Biden in Georgia. So we really don't know who's going to be on that jury pool. And if someone like Drew Finling or one of his other co-counsel has an ability to convince one juror, it's a whole new ballgame.
And this is going to be fascinating to watch, as we expect, as it unfolds on television.
19 defendants, 19 lawyers.
Buckle up, everybody. Rikki Klieman, great to have you here. Thanks
you.
for walking us through it.